Good evening, everybody. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people. Today is November 18th, 2024. Hope the dogs aren't going to be getting in the way here. Dogs are going crazy outside. So I've got a couple things I want to share with you. These last two videos that I did are really amazing, and a lot of comments have come in, which I'm going to share with you now. A very important comment that is going to be directing us in our video that we're going to be doing right now. Another thing that was brought to my attention is that as I did my last video, 9/11 came out here in the number of likes. It was 191, I guess, but really shows up as 9/11 the way it's 9 above and 11 below. 9/11. So I want to share a comment with you that came on my last video. And this video I did is called "The Shaking Will Happen on Hanukkah, Christmas, December 24, 25, 2024. I've been doing videos about 444 because this is 444 days from the beginning of the Hamas war. And right now what we're going to do is we're going to compare the Iranian hostage crisis to the Hamas hostage crisis. And we're going to look at the number 444 because of the 444 days that the Iranian hostage crisis lasted. And there's some amazing connections to this between the two hostage crises. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so here's the comment that came in. If the October 7th hostages are released after 444 days, as were the Iranian hostages in 1980, that takes us to December 24th, Hanukkah, Christmas Eve. Couple comments that came in under that. Wow, wow, wow. Look at Steve's views hours ago and number 444, number of video. Wow, and that shows up because I have 444 in the title of some recent videos that I did. Going back about 2 weeks, I was talking about the red heifers, and the reason they started the war on October 7th was because of the red heifers. And a heifer is a cow. It's a female cow, but the red bull is 444, and you have red cow, red bull. There's just an obvious connection to that, and so red bull is 444, and that got us looking at the 444 days from October 7th to December 24th. The reason for the war was the red heifers. All of this is connected to the end of tabernacles. Okay, from the book of Haggai. Okay, so here's the information I have put together. There's probably a lot more information to find on this. Boy, those dogs just won't stop, will they? There's probably a lot of information more that we can find on this. But here is some information to get us started. And I think we have enough information to know that this is very significant. The comparison between these two hostage crisis, is very significant. And so if we look at the Iranian hostage crisis, we're going to see that the hostage crisis lasted from November 4th, 1979 to January 20th, 1981. Okay? So the first thing I noticed here is that both of these days are election-related dates. November 4th is the day of elections, although it was 1 year before the election, right? It was 1 year before the election because the election was 1980. But just like this year was November 5th, and November 4th, 1979, January 20th is Inauguration Day. Okay, so both of the days in question are election-related days in the United States, 444 days between the beginning and the end of the hostage crisis. Okay, then the hostage crisis ended on January 20th, 1981, which was Reagan's inauguration day. Okay, so it was on the first day of Reagan's presidency that the hostage crisis ended. Now, Reagan, his slogan when he became president in 1980, "Let's make America great again." Okay, so there's huge connections right now between the Iranian hostage crisis and the Hamas hostage crisis. Okay, so the Reagan, his slogan, "Let's make America great again," and Trump's slogan is "Make America great again." Okay, now the Secretary of State under Jimmy Carter, he was in office until April 28th, 1980, under Jimmy Carter, and he resigned because there was a failed attempt to release the hostages, and the attempt failed, and he resigned from his position because he was unsuccessful in this one main job that was given to him to get the hostages released. I don't know the full story on that, so you can look up that information if you would like to know more, but he did resign after a failed attempt to get the hostages released in April of 1980. Well, his name was Vance, Cyrus Vance. Even before J.D. Vance became the vice presidential candidate under Trump, I hadn't really ever heard the last name Vance. So I don't know how common the last name Vance is, but we have these two, Reagan's slogan, Trump's slogan. This main guy in the story of the Iranian hostage crisis, the Secretary of State, resigned in the middle of the crisis because of the crisis, because of his failure in the crisis, and now we have J.D. Vance, vice presidential candidate under Donald Trump, will become vice president on January 20th, if we're still here, January 20th of 2025. Okay, so we've got all of this. Vance. Iran hostage crisis, November 4th, 1979 to January 20th, 1981. Both election-related days lasted 444 days. Hostages were released on Reagan's inauguration day. Now, the Hamas hostage crisis. October 7th, 2023 till we don't know when, question mark. If, okay, we have 444 days, just like the Iranian hostage crisis. 440 days would bring us to December 24th and 25th of 2024. Okay? Now, if we were to go from the Reagan inauguration of January 20th, 1981, okay, Ronald Reagan took office January 20th, 1981. Okay, the first inauguration of Ronald Reagan, January 20th, 1981. Okay, he ran in 80, but he did not become president until 1981. And Donald Trump is going to be taking office, if we're still here, on January 20th, 2025. Well, what does that leave us? In between 44 years. Okay? So we've got a hostage crisis that lasted 444 days. Now we have another hostage crisis that's going right now. And maybe it will last 444 days. Maybe it will go into January. We don't know. But from the Reagan inauguration to the Trump inauguration, it's 44 years. Okay? And so all of this is connected to Barack Obama, president number 44, who said he would win the war on Christmas. In 444 days, another Obama ritual bringing us to Christmas, the end of the Hamas hostage crisis. 444 days, just as the Iranian crisis lasted 444 days. And then we have the 44 years. Okay? Now Trump was the 45th president, and between November 4th, 1979 and his second term, November 5th, 2024, it's 45 years. Trump is the 45th president. Trump was, at his first inauguration, was 70 years, 7 months, and 7 days. At his first inauguration. And from his first inauguration, January 21st, 2017 to December 25th, 2024, it's 7 years, 7 months, 7 weeks, and 77 days. And so if we have Donald Trump being the last Trump, or the seventh trumpet, Trump number 7 across the board, then we also have 7 weeks from November 5th, 2024, 7 weeks or 49 days, bringing us to Christmas. So Trump, again, fulfilling the number 7, bringing us to Christmas. Well, anyway, these two crises, okay, have too many similarities to overlook. Let's make America great again. Make America great again. Reagan and Trump are both connected. Then we have Vance during the Carter administration, and Vance, 444 days, 44 years, 45 years, Obama's war on Christmas. Please consider all of these events as we're looking at the message I shared earlier, is that Putin is considering nuclear war before Christmas based on Biden's advice to Ukraine that they can use long-range missiles inside, deep inside Russia. That because the United States is supplying these long-range missiles to Ukraine, Russia is saying that the United States is a direct attacker. It's an act of war from the United States, and that because of this, Russia will need to respond, and they're considering responding with nuclear war before Christmas. So what I'm saying is that all of these things that we're watching, even the 444 days from the beginning of the crisis, points us to Christmas, points us to 44, Barack Obama, the war on Christmas, and all of this connected to these historical events. So this is what I'm sharing with you. You know, there's a lot of people that say that I go through all of these things and I do a lot of repetition, but you know, I'm just trying to get the message out the best I can. So, you know, if I'm going too slow for you, you can speed it up. You can go double speed or whatever you want to do to get through these messages quicker. Or if you're going to complain, like a lot of people are complaining about the way I do things, well, you don't have to watch. You know, you can go somewhere else. You can be on another channel. For me, I'm just trying to fulfill my call to serve Jesus, to share the signs that I see, okay, to be faithful. And I know that when it's all said and done, God has a very special plan that he's doing through my ministry, a very special plan that he's doing through my calling, and that very, very soon people will see that everything that I've been sharing about Barack Obama is true. Because there's so many people that over the years, they still deny who Barack Obama. They still do not have the spiritual eyes to see that he is the son of perdition, that he is the Antichrist, that he is Mr. 666. Okay, so all of these things are, I'm showing you. I'm doing my best to show you. If you haven't seen my last two videos, watch the video about Putin's considering nuclear war before Christmas. And then watch part 2 of that message, where I go into the geometry of the title of the message, and God is confirming the shaking that is going to happen on Christmas, Hanukkah, December 24th and December 25th of 2024. This is my interpretation of what God is showing me. It's got to happen soon. So I hope you all are ready. I pray you are blessed. This is Steve Fletcher with a trumpet for my people, the sign of his coming revealed.